long, cold winter is effectively over for IndyCar. The new look Verizon IndyCar Series with the test at Barber Motorsports Park last week. Will Power led the way. The series heads to the streets of St. Pete this week for Sunday's Grand Prix of St. Pete, which, by the way, you can see right here on RTV6 and ABC. A little plug. Great to have the reigning and three-time IndyCar Series champion, Verizon IndyCar Series champion, Scott Dixon tonight on Sunday Sports Extra. Great to see you.
Pleasure.
I'm learning. You got to say Verizon IndyCar Series. I mean, I guess you don't have to, but
well,
you know,
should.
You probably should.
It sounds good.
It sounds
Verizon IndyCar Series. It does. It sounds
Where's
good.
the money? Show us the money. Let's go.
Right.
Hey, Happy New Year. You ready to go?
I am. You know, it's obviously I think the winter has been bad for everybody. You know, I'm typically good at using my snowblower. I think twice in the winter period.
How many times have you used it this time around?
I'd hate to think, man. I was using it twice a week sometimes, twice a night in some of those big downpours. So
here's the crazy thing. And it's 5 months now since you won the championship in Fontana. We were all there in Victory Lane. Emma, I was working the radio network at the time. That was 5 months ago. If you thought that was long, wait till next year when we're talking about a 7-month layoff because the season's going to wrap up September. Then
August 30th, right?
Yeah. And then you've got till maybe February or March. So, you know.
It'll be, you know, I see what they're trying to do, obviously, with football starting in September and compacting a little bit. I think, you know, in the progression over a few more years, we'll be adding some international races. I know the IndyCar Series or Verizon IndyCar Series is working hard to make that happen, and I think there'll be good paid races in some of the countries that they're talking about. But yeah, this coming year will be tough, you know. But luckily,
it's going to be tough on teams, you know.
It will be,
revenue-wise, anyway.
Luckily, with our team, we get to do some other recreational racing with, you know, sports car stuff after 24 hours, and I'm sure Chip will, you know, maybe throw in some additional ones at the end of the year. But yeah, I love being in the car, man. So it's tough to be out of the car for that long.
He might have you guys working at Target by the time it's all said and done in like November next year.
Look what you've just done,
just
man.
in time for the holidays.
Just done, yeah, exactly. I wouldn't mind working there.
No, I'm with you on that.
I think it'd be pretty good.
Absolutely, the benefits are good, I hear. Hey, a lot of changes, obviously, here in the off season. A lot specifically for the month of May at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Obviously, the road course race, May 10th. They've changed qualifying up for the Indy 500. Now they're adding points for qualifying with the Indy 500. They're doubling up the points for all the 500 milers, which includes the Indy 500. You like what you see here?
Yeah, you know, I think it puts emphasis on the longer races, which, you know, I think is important. They are our standout races, and you know, qualifying is a big deal at the Speedway. So I think, you know, that's there was, I think, kind of submitted earlier on, there was a bigger spread between the points for qualifying, which I wouldn't even disagree with as well. So, you know, I think there's lots of good changes. The month of May is going to be hectic. You know,
it's going to be flat
not
out.
For just the drivers. No
pun intended.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But the teams, you know, we go from a road course race to, you know, change over cars to run the next day on the Speedway for opening day. It's going to be a lot of fun, but also, you know, lots of great teams and drivers coming in for this race. It's going to be pretty exciting.
The biggest change for Target, Chip Ganassi, obviously heading into the season. Dario's forced retirement, so he's out of the car. You got some guy named Tony Kanaan who hops in the car.
I don't think anybody knows that.
I don't know if he's something like Indy 500 last year or whatever. But how has that changed the dynamic thus far, you think?
It's been interesting. You know, yet we haven't spent a whole lot of time together because we've only really done, I think, 4 or 5 days testing throughout this year, and you know, it's a steep learning curve for him. You know, for me, I'm lucky. I think it's my 13th year with the team, so you know, there hasn't been a whole lot of change on the 9 car. Which is the
longest of anyone in the series.
Elio maybe a year longer than me at Penske, I think.
Elio doesn't count. But
well, yeah, he skipped a few races.
But yeah, I mean, that's amazing in this sport that you've had this kind of longevity with one team.
It is.
Let alone Chip.
Yeah, so, you know, exactly, I know. We ever, you know, he did joke about, you know, if somebody asked him, you know, how do you guys have such a good relationship? And he's like, well, you know, Dixon doesn't call me and I don't call him. So, you know, we have a good relationship, and you know, I love being at the team, and obviously we've achieved a lot together, and you know, I hope it lasts.
Yeah, right.
I hope it lasts a lot longer.
Another championship, another Indy 500 maybe.
Absolutely.
As mentioned, testing at Barber Motorsports Park Park last Monday and Tuesday. You were dealing with some weather conditions. What did you think of testing down there? How did it go for you?
It was good. The hard part about testing so early in the season is the weather. You know,
Right.
it's very cold. It's typically going to be 20 or 30 degrees cooler than we actually race there, so it changes the car a lot. But obviously, then again, with so much time off in these winter months, the engineers can dream up many big things that you need to try in the car. So, you know, we were flat out. I think we started 2 o'clock in the afternoon on both days, so we didn't get the amount of running that we would have liked. But the car ran well. I think we were third and 100th of a second behind Will, so the top 3 were very close with myself, Justin Wilson, and Will, and then a bit of a gap to 4th. But yeah, everything went smoothly.
I mean, not to get too inside baseball here, but you guys, when I say you guys, the team, Chip Ganassi's team, switching from Honda to Chevy this season.
Yeah.
Now, you guys were with Honda for a long time. Now all of a sudden you got the bow tie brand on. How has that? Can you tell a difference or not?
It's been a pretty smooth transition.
Yeah.
We were very integrated with Honda, as you mentioned. I think the team had been with them previously in sort of the late '90s before they switched in the early 2000s. But I've been with Honda since 2006. Achieved a lot together. A lot of great memories.
A lot of
great memories, friendships.
Yep.
So it was difficult. But then again, you kind of know a lot of the people, because when Honda and Ilmor were together and they were suppliers, a lot of those tech people were the same that are currently at Chevy. So it's
Ilmor went over to Chevy, and now all of a sudden you're working with some old friends.
Some old friends. So it's been very, very smooth, the transition, and I expect big things out of them this year, and hopefully we can get a championship for Chevy.
Yeah, we talked about championships. This team between Dario and yourself have won 5 of the last 6. But here's the thing, though. You look past last several years, getting off to a great start has always been kind of the thing that has snake bitten you guys,
For me, for sure. Dario, sometimes, but yeah, the last few years, like I think after Indianapolis last year, we were 8th in points and really didn't have a shot at it. So if we can make the start of the year a little more competitive, it should make the rest of the year a little better for us. But it's St. Pete and Barber, I think we've raced there for 4 or 5 years. I've been second every time, so I want to try and get on that top spot at that point.
All the more better to get something started here very early on.
Exactly.
This is March Madness time. I'm not going to ask you about a basketball question.
Yeah, good.
So
I wouldn't know.
Give me your top 4 seeds to win the overall IndyCar Series championship. You think? Starting with number 4, Ryan Hunter-Reay.
Number 4, Ryan Hunter-Reay. And I'm not putting this in any order, but I think Hunter-Reay's obviously previous champion, and they've had a big change this year going back to Honda, but they will be very, very competitive, and so will Hinch at that team.
And Helio Castroneves, who has yet to win a series championship.
He's hungry though, and you could see that last year.
Luckily for you, didn't get it done last year. So.
That was very lucky for us, but I feel bad for Helio actually.
No, you don't.
Yeah,
Come
you're right,
on. No, you don't. No one feels bad for Helio Castroneves. Anyway, go on. Continue, though.
And then, secondly, I would say, Will Power. Being very close, fighting for the championships right down to the wire last year. Had a bit of a rough year, but closed out with winning the last 2 races, and has been very quick in preseason testing.
And you like yourself? You're going to be
defending champions, and Team Target's always got a Hunter, and I would like to say our team. I think TK is going to be extremely fast in the 10 cars.
Well, you had Ryan Briscoe into the mix this year.
Briscoe is very quick at preseason testing too.
Yeah.
So, and Charlie won a race at High last year, and has been coming very strong. So I think this the 4-car team is going to be strong this year.
We know you're ready. I think we're ready here on RTV6 and ABC. Apparently, your 2 daughters are ready too for the upcoming series. Take a look at this, Poppy and Tilly.
Look at that.
Their credentials, their season credentials.
Poppy's picture cracks me up to no end, man. Look at that.
What's going on there? She's got some face paint on.
Some face paint. I think she was a princess. She always tries to be Ariel.
That's a good selection.
There, but that was at her birthday party last year. So, and Tilly. She's always cute. Look at that.
How cute is this? Come on. Excellent. Thanks for coming in tonight. Great
to see you. It was a pleasure.
As always. And we'll look forward to seeing you in St. Pete, too, right?
Absolutely.
Good luck. Scott Dixon here on Sunday Sports Xtra. And a friendly reminder, once again, you can see the Firestone Grand Prix of St. Pete live right here on RTV6 at ABC. Reports all weekend with live coverage beginning at 3 o'clock Sunday afternoon.